This is Birthday World. Just like planet Earth, except everyone's birthday is always January 1. I don't know, maybe humans evolved like the octopus or chameleon or something with a weird birth-death cycle, or maybe pinpricks in condoms is the running April Fool's joke or something, but everyone has the same birthday. Which means most people get their driver's license on the same day. People get their L's and their P's in massive groups. You are born on this planet and you are a scumbag. You want to screw people out of their time and money as much as possible, and you want to make as much money with as little effort as you can. So of course you become a used car salesman. You take this $4,000 car and jack it up to $5,000 and make $1,000 profit like all the other car salesmen. But it's just not good enough. You see the pattern. You see the pattern and cycle of graduation that happens every year, and you know that your strategy should be different depending on when in the year that currently is. The kids all pass their Ps and get dropped off in the city centre on a big bus. Same bus every year, so of course you set up your used car dealership as close as possible to the bus stop and target these kids. And you advertise to them. Safe and secure cars, big corporation, not like those small and independent, dangerous car dealerships. But you think, why stop there? Why not talk to the bus company that drives the students? Maybe they'll let you pay for the bus's registration in exchange for a little bit of advertising revenue. Now the bus has your branding on the side of it. And all the students get to see your logo when they finish their test and hop on the bus that takes them directly to your dealership, and you buy the bus driver a beer so he'll talk you up a little bit along the way, winning. But you are still pond scum looking to evolve legs and roam the earth. That $4,000 car that you sell for $5,000 can become $6,000 sale on bus day. But that's not good enough. When it gets close to the end of the year and close to bus day, you still feel like you're unprepared to take full advantage of all these naive young drivers. So bus day becomes a final deadline for you, and you start calling the time leading up to it bus season. Now you've got a buffer. Bus season is where you can start to hide your stock of cars. Instead of the normal 50 cars on display in the lot, there's only 5 cars shown at any one time during bus season. Now you're really starting to have some fun with it. You've started this game of musical chairs where the new drivers all of a sudden start to feel like they're in competition with each other when there really was no competition here before. 98% of them were able to get a car in the first month, and you've still got 50 cars, but you just don't present them with 50 options. There's 5 spots and 10 students. They're going fast, so you better get in quick. Oh look, we found another 5 cars to make the next 10 students fight over, and so on and so forth. You've instilled this new culture, so people who knew that there was always enough cars are now terrified of not having a car on bus day +1, because that means that they weren't good enough to be selected by a dealership as a good match, and they worked hard to get good marks in their driving training, so a rejection from you feels like a failure to them. That works great for you. You get a bunch of undeserved power over these students, and now they don't rock up at all at the same time and see all the cars on the market, because you and those like you can now drip feed supply based on the cyclical nature of simultaneous graduation. You don't want them getting the idea that they can just get off the bus and look anywhere for a car on day 1, even though that's clearly what they should do. This is your market to take. You need to get in early, so you need to tell them to get in early. Any unsold car on bus day is now a failure to you. You need to imply the type of scarcity that gets you a sale much earlier than that. Shit. Now it's time for you to ride the bus. You've already got your logo on the side, so the bus driver doesn't think it's too forward that you're there on the bus talking to students well before they get to the dealership. And you want to kind of burst their bubble about having options early. Their parents told them that getting a license is difficult, but it's your key to freedom. You can do what you want. It's your life. Go take it. You need to tell them that driving is a terrifying experience fraught with danger, and they really need to start thinking about their future if they want to survive. Now they start to panic. But thankfully you have a briefcase full of contracts that they can sign on the bus ride. The independent dealerships will never even see these kids. But it's still not enough. There's still online listings selling cars. So now you know what you have to do. You and the other major corporation competitors, they all know it as well. You don't even need to collaborate under the table for this to happen. It's just happening automatically. You start to remove the price, the selling price of cars from your online listing every time it starts getting close to December. Every time you get into bus season, the price of that $4,000 used car that you used to sell for $5,000 is, who knows? The conversation about the cost of the car is happening behind closed doors and you hold all the cards. The only one that's even going to look at the contract on behalf of the student is maybe the bus driver. And he's already in your back pocket knowing his employer is taking advertising fees. He grumbles that the bus is overcrowded and there's too many students cramming in, but tickets put food on his table, so he's not going to step in any capacity at all. But it's still not enough. So you start partnerships with the training schools. You need to get in there even earlier than the bus ride. Why put branding on the buses when you can be the only place they send kids out to do driving lessons? And when the government says that the students should do 100 hours of driving lessons, you think, why don't we just get new training schools up and running that have a curriculum that puts 100 hours of driving lessons in one sitting? We can get 2 bus days per year and now have this mid-year bus season as well. So now those smaller independent dealerships that don't have the capacity to lose their training vehicles for 100 hours straight because obviously they haven't focused on the training market like you have, and as independents, they don't have the market reach or capacity that you have. So you and your big competition have changed the way the schools operate so that even when considering placement in training vehicles, they have you guys as the only options. You don't even really need to fight your big competitor anymore. You just have to kind of stop the independents from jumping on this training bandwagon. But it's still not enough. If you're really trying, you could rat fuck this industry even harder. Those graduate students keep realizing that those cars that you sell them are lemons, and they're selling them after like 6 months. That creates a sub-market that you can't control. You want them locked into a 2-year finance contract so that your car sale is binding, and you've got the lawyers to back it up, and those new drivers have to put up with that car for 2 years. But it is kind of bad optics to lock kids into contracts with veiled legal threats. So you invent a concept called a driver graduate program, which is really just a car financing system, but on the surface it looks like a program that helps the student for 2 years after they get their Ps. Because driving is scary, and students who have known nothing in their lives other than structured student curriculums will be comfortable. It'll be a very easy pill to swallow when you present them a post-student curriculum. And who's going to argue? Who's ever going to criticize a program that helps graduates learn how to drive safer after they get their Ps? It's not like this graduate program is going to be compared to the one-on-one mentorship that previous generations got from their friends and family. It's going to be compared to a vacuum. One student learns one thing that saves them from having a vehicle accident. Great. You can pump that as propaganda and charge for your used cars until they're signing up for food stamps because no one's going to fight it. You get to say that the road was a lawless place and everything was constantly exploding before your program. No one's got the evidence to argue. So now 90% of all new drivers sign up to a graduate driving program because they imply support, structure, security, where before there was none. But you know the truth. Your program is really just some social events about safe driving that make you look good in the media. But hey, now you can jack up that $4,000 car to a $20,000 loan with 25% interest and aggressively pursue anyone that tries to on-sell that car in less than 2 years. Nobody's going to complain because now it comes with this ongoing training service that you can justify as saving lives. Nobody needs to know that the service costs you $50 per student and they could get the exact same value sitting in the passenger seat of one of their parents once every 6 months or taking a defensive driving course that would cost them $100. It doesn't matter. You are now king of birthday world. You are making cash, hand over fist, selling the same 4K car for 20K plus interest, pumping up the price by 2K every year, buying it back for 1K in total every 2 years. Everyone's a winner. I mean, people keep trying to throw themselves under the front wheel of the bus, and we've had to install safety glass and crisis helpline stickers all over the inside of the bus, and if anyone complains too loudly, the bus driver pulls over and drops the passenger off in a dark room where the bus company's lawyer tells them how much it's going to cost if they keep complaining. But hey, you're a winner. That's what's important. And they'll be fine. The bus company's doing a mental health survey and handing out some fucking stickers or something. What's important is now the market works for you. The price of the cars never has to be listed online ever again because it's never not bus season. Soon you won't be putting any cars online for sale at all. The students will be online for sale and the bus company will happily sell that ticket and host that meat market for you. Imagine that fucking world.